Happy Diaz of Friday. Diaz of Venus. It's Friday. Happy New Year's. I ended on that. I'm very busy, but like I say, I always keep the word to myself. I say I'll be back Friday. I was off to that, and since I've been up, I just broke my fast. I have started writing my book. I'm just flooded with ideas. And then I know how to implement things I came up with before. But I was going to read some of Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. So for the next chapter, we was on the rabbit, Samson and little Bill. I'm going to read 2 or 3 pages because I like to finish what I was doing. And we're going to keep this to, we're going to do 45 minutes. We're going to keep this to 5 o'clock so I can finish what I was doing because I had to go to get to my, that's why I came up with the program I came up with. Let me get into that. So I'm writing a children's book. I'm not writing an actual children's book. I'm writing about children. I'm writing a book. I'm gonna write books because it's a 9-part series. But it's about a little girl and her adventure in magical forest. And she also has a twin. I'm gonna go get everything just a little, because I'm doing my draft right now. Yeah, I ain't drew up my draft right now, so. I changed the name, but let's see. I ain't got my draft going and my ideas, and once I get it all together, I'm gonna send it to my child and let him illustrate it for me. Or I might use AI. I don't know. But I'm gonna get a couple concepts, my outline, do something. Use it to brainstorm and put your ideas in. That's how I use it. I don't need it writing shit for me. I am a writer. I'm a poet. It's the prompts you give it. It's what you get out of it. But anyway, and the whole thing of the story of the book is finding one's purpose. She realized she want to know her purpose, so she goes on this journey. The book is for all of us and our inner child. So it's really about the inner child. It's not a children's book. It's about the inner child of us all. But it's going to be written where children can read it and understand and have an understanding of it and enjoy it. And that's what the pictures will be for us. Well, the illustration or the graphics, how I do it. But it falls into my next because it's like time, the days and the nights go so fast. It's like you don't have enough moments to complete your task. So, like I have to go to the gig tomorrow. I was getting the day off. It's just issues. It's issues upon issues. So, I came up with a program some time ago called Ch.4. But it popped in my head today and I said, ooh, sponsorship. Because don't nobody want to be tied to anyone else. Well, I don't. I like to do things on my own, but we all need to collectively help one another or support, more likely. So the sponsorship will be support. I need sponsorship support for at least 13 months, a year, because a year is 13 months complete. 13 months. The support, which means taking care of my living expenses each month while I focus on my creativity. Not having to worry about none of that. Meaning, i.e., not having to worry about a gig. But I'd be part-time. I'm still have a gig because I like my own. But the support, the sponsorship support will help with the majority of the expenses, the living expenses like rent, other expenses, gas, like, the stuff we pay for that we weren't supposed to be paying for. That shit. And the Ch.4 part comes in once you complete your 13 months and everything is going like it's supposed to go and you accumulated your resources, enough resources where you can pay it forward to another person. So after I get my 13 months in, then I'll pay it forward. Get a person, have a list of people like, okay, they have their ideas. You have to have everything you want to draw it out and how you want to do it and the time. Because I know exactly what I'll do, how it's going to be drawn out, how long it'll take me. Like I said, I got a 9 series to this, but then off each character, you can personalize each character, make another, I'm full of ideas. I'm business. That's what mentorship. We saw on business. I have ideas. Song ain't nothing. I can come up with a song just like that. Pity pat, Burberry, what it is, where it go, who, what you in. Do it again. Hickory dickory dock. My kitty better not my clock. Come up my clock, you run it up, and she gonna come and get you right up. She gonna eat you up, take you out my house, make you shout when she do it about. Anyway. That's jibbing and driving, not focus, lingo. But then you pay it forward and support someone, sponsorship, support another person for 13 months while they get their ideas and pursue their purposes or because to me, you should be doing what satisfies you and bring you joy. I'm a writer. I'm a poet. I'm a dancer. I love instruments. I love just to play with them and see what sounds I make, what tones and tunes my body can create. My mind is strong and full of creativity. I'm a creative, and I need to get out and be around more creatives. But sometimes you just got to be a hermit and just work on thyself, which I have been, because you got to know thyself. The self is you, and then it's the self. We get into that too. So this is where I'm at right now. I ain't gonna spill the beans because my stuff is still in the beginning, so I'm gonna keep it all to myself. I'm just letting you know I'm working on a book, and it's about her. I'm not gonna say her name, Adventures, and then she got a twin, Adventures and the Magical Force. I'm excited. Excitement is this. All this came to me yesterday. Listening to a video of someone, a sister, a priestess, who always full of light and joy, and that's what she does. She pays it forward by giving you that push, that insightfulness, because we all have gifts, and she's very in tune to hers. Everyone has a gift, unless you give it away, or you choose to go the other route and just take from others instead of give. Giver here, not a taker. I don't do well with takers. I had a lot of takers on my journey thus far, and now I understand. So now I know how to implement and move around from that. But yeah, so I want to get back to that while it's still fresh on my mind, and I got time. But I don't know. I might go on Kickstarter or what other sites you have that I can write up, because I know everything I want to do. I can just write it up and present it to someone and get them an example of what I got going on and take it from there. Because next month, May, that 5-0, my direction is shifting from where I'm at. I'm not going to be doing that. I put them on notice months ago. I cannot. I'm done. That journey was over 12 years ago. It's just what it is. Like I say, us paying things that we shouldn't be paying, then all this new stuff that's getting started, but everything is going on what is going on, because it might look like it's not a positive thing to most people out here, but they don't see the end of it. Because at the end of the rainbow is us, because we're the pot of gold. The soul is the gold. And that's what they was digging for. And for souls, you is the gold. If you didn't know. It got hot again. So you see my lights. You see that? You see that energy? See this? That one in here last time. I put all my posters up. Where my mind at? See some on the door and some up here. I see the lights. That energy. Pay little safe toast today too. You see that energy in there? You see that? You see my lights. You see my rays. You ain't gonna see that on other my videos. That's what I'm talking about. You see it straight. You see it. You see that. You see all that up in there. I saw it earlier. I'm like, oh, okay, okay. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. Let's read some of this book. Because like I said, we're going to go to 5 o'clock. I know I can't read my glasses. I got to put them up. The rabbit sins in a little bill. We're on chapter 4. It was the white rabbit, trotting slowly back again and looking anxiously about as it went, as if it had lost something. And she heard it muttering to itself, "The Duchess, the Duchess. Oh, my dear paws. Oh, my fur and whiskers. She'll get me executed, as sure as ferrets are ferrets. Where can I have dropped them, I wonder?" At least guessed in a moment that it was looking for the fan and the pair of white kid gloves. And she very good naturally began hunting about for them, but they were nowhere to be seen. Everything seemed to have changed since her swim in the pool, and the gray hall with the glass table and the little door had vanished completely. Very soon the rabbit noticed Alice as she went hunting about and called out to her in an angry tone, "Why, Mary Ann, what are you doing out here?" Mary Ann. "Run home this moment and fetch me a pair of gloves and a fan. Quick now." And Alice was so much frightened that she ran off at once in the direction it pointed to, without trying to explain the mistake it had made. "He took me for his housemaid," she said to herself as she ran. "How surprised he'll be when he finds out who I am. But I'll better take him his fan and gloves, that is, if I can find them." And she said this. She came upon a neat little house, on the door of which was a bright brass plate with the name W. Rabbit engraved upon it. She went in without knocking and hurried upstairs in a great fear lest she should meet the real Mary Ann and be turned out of the house before she had found the fan and gloves. How queer it seems. That's the other word I have to look up, because it used queer a lot in here, because the way people use queer, it's so many words that was used over 100 years ago that's not being used correctly now. Like good, like bad means good. The way y'all use shit. You let people switch shit around. It still carry the same frequency and vibration of what the sound fucking means, no matter what definition, how you want to use it and implement it. That's not what the fuck it means. Just because you used it that way. That ain't how that go. That ain't how that go. It's just not. How queer it seems. There's something else I thought popped in my head I was going to say. Alice said to herself, "To be going messages for a rabbit. I suppose Dinah and I'll be sending me on messages next." Messages. Like we send text messages, to be going messages. It sounds foreign to say words when they're used differently, don't it? To be going messages. Like you send a text message. text messages to be going messages for a rabbit. I suppose Dinah and Dinah, dang, what she say? It say L on the end of that. Wait a minute. Dinah, L is Dinah apostrophe 2 L's. See what I mean? Be sending me on messages next. And she began fancying the sort of thing that will happen. But we found out when we read his intro that he liked to play with nonsense and shit. Because I know this shit don't make no sense. But he likes nonsense. He likes using nonsense. He's like using nonsense. Miss Alice. Wait a minute, I skipped something. And she began fancying the sort of thing that will happen. Miss Alice, come here directly and get ready for your walk. Coming in a minute, nurse. But I got to watch this mouse hole till Diana comes back. Or is it Deanna? Is it Deanna? D-N-I? We're going to pronounce it right. Dinana. 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 Dinaha. I don't like pronouncing things incorrectly because it's energy. And see that the mouse doesn't get out. Only I don't think, Alice went on, that they let Diana stop in the house if it began ordering people about like that. By this time, she had found her way into a tiny little room with a table in the window, and on it, as she had hoped, a fan and 2 or 3 pairs of tiny white kid gloves. She took up the fan and a pair of the gloves and was just going to leave the room when her eye fell upon a little bottle that stood near the looking glass. See, they call it looking glass because you look in this glass. We call it a mirror. Well, y'all call it mirror, but it's mirror because it's 2 fucking R's. There was no label this time with the words, drink me, but nevertheless she uncorked it and put it to her lips. I know something interesting is sure to happen, she said to herself, whenever I eat or drink anything, so let's see what this bottle does. I do hope it makes me grow large again, for really I'm quite tired of being such a tiny little thing. It did so, indeed, and much sooner than she had expected. Before she had drank half the bottle, she found her head pressing against the sill and had to scoop to save her neck from being broken. Her little crazy ass. She hastily put down the bottle, saying to herself, that's quite enough. I hope I shan't grow anymore. I shan't grow anymore. As it is, I can't get out the door. I do wish I hadn't drank quite so much. At last, it was too late to wish that. She went on growing and growing, and very soon had to kneel down on the floor. In another minute, there was not even room for this, and she tried the effect of lying down with one elbow against the door and the other arm curled around her head. Still, she went on growing, and at last resources, she put one arm out of the window and one foot up the chimney and said to herself, now, I can do no more. Whatever happens, what will become of me? Luckily for Alice, the little magic bottle had not had its full effect, and she grew no longer. Still, it was very uncomfortable. And there seemed to be no sort of chance of her ever getting out of the room again. No wonder she felt unhappy. It was much pleasanter at home, thought poor Alice, when one wasn't always growing larger and smaller and being ordered about by mice and rabbits. I almost wish I hadn't gone down that rabbit hole. And yet, it's rather curious. Excuse me. This sort of life, I do wonder what I can have happen. I do wonder what can have happened to me when I used to read fairy tales. I fancied that kind of thing never happened, and now here I am in the middle of one. There ought to be a book written about me. There ought. And when I grow up, I'll write one. but I'll grow up now, she added in a softer tone. Ugh, ugh. At least there's no room to grow up anymore here. But then, thought Alice, shall I never get any older than I am now? That'd be comfort one way, never to be an old woman, but then always to have lessons to learn. Oh, I shouldn't like that. Oh, you foolish Alice, she answered herself. How can you learn lessons in here? Why, there's hardly room for you, and no room at all for any lessons books. And so she went on, taking one side and then the other and making quite a conversation of it all together. But after a few minutes, she heard a voice outside and stopped to listen. Marianne, Marianne, said the voice, fetch me my gloves this moment. Then came a little pattering of feet on the stairs. Alice knew it was the rabbit coming to look for her, and she trembled till she shook the house, quite forgetting that she was now about 1,000 times as large as a rabbit and had no reason to be afraid of it. Presently, the rabbit came up to the door and tried to open it. But as the door opened inwards and Alice's elbow was pressed hard against it, that attempt proved a failure. Alice heard it say to herself, then I'll go around and get in at the window. That you won't, thought Alice, and after waiting until she fancied she heard the rabbit just under the window, she suddenly spread out her hand and made a snatch in the air. She did not get hold of anything, but she heard a little screech in the fall and the crash of broken glass, from which she concluded that it was just possible he had fallen into a cucumber frame or something of the sort. And he did. Never came an angry voice, the rabbit's. Pat, Pat, where are you? And then a voice she had never heard before. Sure then, I'm here, digging for apples. Yet honor? Your honor? Year, Y-E-R, your honor? Your, I always put Y-E, I always put Y-R, it was Y-E-R. Digging for apples indeed, said the rabbit angrily. Here, come and help me out of this. Sounds of more broken glass. Now tell me, Pat, what's that in the window? Sure it's an arm, your honor. He pronounced it arm. Sure it's an arm. An arm, you goose. Whoever saw one that size? Why, it's filled the whole window. Sure it does. Yet, your honor. But it's an arm for all of that. Well, it's got no business there at any rate. Go and take it away. There was a long silence after this, and Alice could only hear whispers now and then such as, sure I don't like it. Yet, honor, your honor, at all. Do as I tell you, you coward. And at the last she spread out her hand again and made another snatch in the air. This time there was 2 little streaks and more sounds of broken glass. What a number of cumber frames they must be, thought Alice. I wonder what they'll do next. As for pulling me out of the window, I only wish they could. I'm sure I don't want to stay in here any longer. Ugh. She waited for some time without hearing anything more. At last came a rumbling of little cartwheels and the sound of a good many voices all talking together. She made out the words. Where's the other ladder? Why hadn't to bring but one? Bill, get that other. Bill, fetch it here. Lad. Here, put them up at this corner. No, tie them together first. They don't reach halfway high up enough yet. Oh, they'll do well enough. Don't be particular. Here, Bill, catch hold of this rope. Will the roof bear? Mind that loose slate. Oh, it's coming down. Heads below. A loud crash. Now, when did that? It was Bill, I fancy. Who to go down the chimney? Nah, I shout. You do it. That I won't then. Bill's to go down. Here, Bill, the master says you go down the chimney. Oh, so Bill got to come down the chimney, has he? And Alice to herself, why then send to put something upon Bill? I wouldn't be in Bill's place for a good deal. This fireplace is narrow, to be sure, but I think I can kick a little. She drew her foot as far down the chimney as she could and waited till she heard a little animal. She couldn't guess what sort it was, scratching and scrambling about in the chimney close about her. Then, saying to herself, "This is Bill," she gave one sharp kick and waited to see what happened next. The first thing she heard was a general chorus of, "There goes Bill." Then the rabbit voice alone, "Catch him, you be the hedge." Then silence, and then another confusion of voice. "Hold on, hold his head. Brandy, no. Brandy, now. Don't choke him. How was it, old fella? What happened to you? Tell us all about it." Last came a little feeble squeaking voice. "That's Bill," thought Alice. "Well, I hardly." No more no more. Thank ye. I'm better now, but I'm a deal too flustered to tell you. All I know is something comes at me like a jack in the box and up I goes like a skyrocket. "So you did, old fella," said the others. "We must burn the house down," said the rabbit's voice, and Alice came out as loud as she could. "If you do, I set Deanna at you." There was a dead silence. Instantly, Alice thought to herself, "I wonder what they would do next. If they had any sense, they'd take the roof off." After a minute or two, they began moving about again, and Alice heard the rabbit say, "A barrel full would do to begin with." A barrel full of what? Thought Alice. She had not long to doubt, but for the next moment a shower of little pebbles came rattling in the window, and some of them hit her in the face. "I put a stop to this," she said to herself and shouted out, "You better not do that again," which produced another dead silence. Alice noticed with some surprise that the pebbles were all turning into little cakes as they lay on the floor. And a bright idea came to her head. If I eat one of these cakes," she thought, "it's sure to make some changes in my size. And as it could possibly make me larger, it must make me smaller, I suppose." So she swallowed one of the cakes and was delighted to find that she began shrinking directly. As soon as she was small enough to get through the door, she ran out of the house and found quite a crowd of little owls and birds waiting outside. Oh, excuse me. The poor little lizard, Bill, was in the middle, being held up by two guinea pigs, who were giving it something out of a bottle. They all made a rush at Alice the moment she appeared, but she ran off as hard as she could and soon found herself safe in a thick wood. "The first thing I've got to do," said Alice to herself as she wandered about the woods, "is to grow me a right size again. Is to grow to my right size again. And the second thing is to find my way into that lovely garden. I think that would be the best plan." It sounded as excellent plan, no doubt, and very neatly and simply arranged. The only difference was that she had not the smallest idea how to set about it. And while she was peering about anxiously among the trees, a little sharp bark just over her head made her look up in a great hurry. An enormous puppy was looking down at her with large round eyes and feebly stretching out one paw, trying to touch her. "Poor little thing," said Alice in a coaxing tone, and she tried hard to whistle to it, but she was terribly frightened all the time at the thought that it might be hungry, in which case it would be very likely to eat her up in spite of all her coaxing. Hardly knowing what she did, she picked up a little bitty stick, and held it out to the puppy. Whereupon the puppy jumped into the air off all his feet at once, with a yip of delight, and rushed at the stick, and made believe to worry it. Then Alice dodged behind a great thistle to keep herself from being ran over. And at the moment she appeared on the other side, the puppy made another rush at the stick, tumbled head over heels in his hurry to get hold of it. Then Alice, thinking it was very like having a game to play with. We got 15 more minutes, but we are at the last page of this chapter. A cart horse, and expecting every moment to be trampled under its feet, ran round the thistle again. Then the puppy began a series of short charges at the stick, running a very little way forward, each time and a long way back, and barking hoarsely all the while, till at last it sat down a good way off, panting, with his tongue hanging out of his mouth, and his great eyes half shut. This seemed to Alice a good opportunity for making her escape, So she set off at once and ran till she was quite tired and out of breath, until the puppy's bark sounded quite faint in the distance. And yet, what a dear little puppy it was, said Alice. She said, as she leant against a buttercup to rest herself and fanned herself with one of the leaves, I should have liked teaching its tricks very much. If I only been taught, if I only been the right size to do it. Oh dear, I nearly forgotten that. I've got to grow up again. Let me see. How is it to be managed? I suppose I ought to eat or drink something or other, but the great question is what? The great question surely was what? Alice looked all around her at the flowers and the blades of grass, but she did not see anything that looked like the right thing to eat or drink under the circumstances. There was a large mushroom growing near her, about the same height as herself, and when she had looked under it and on both sides of it and behind it, it occurred to her that she might as well look and see what was on top of it. She stretched herself up on tippy-toe and peeked over the edge of the mushroom, and her eyes immediately met those of a large caterpillar, a long hookah, and taking not the smallest notice of her or anything else. In Chapter 5, Advice from a Caterpillar. And that's where we should start. There's a lot of pictures on that. And we would start at Advice from the Caterpillar Monday. Because I do this every Wednesday, but I'm kind of off schedule. So I think I'm going to come back Monday. I got another book I'm putting out here too. I think I'm going to come back Monday. I'm liking it a little lax. Come back Monday and finish that. Go to the next chapter with the caterpillar. You know, this is my first time reading this book, so it's very interesting. I hope those who watch the video think it's interesting too and enjoying the story. As your commentary here, Rabbit Hole Radio, Moma Bumby, who at the moment is writing a book for the inner child of all. At the same time, I want to start the program, Pay It Forward, sponsorship, where someone sponsors you for a year, 13 months, and then you pay it forward once you have completed your endeavors and gain your abundance and your resources to someone that's in the place that you're in now and extend your support to them. And I have some other ideas, but that's the one I'm sharing today. I have a few things written down because, like I said, it's all about collective consciousness right now, because us collectively creates the reality. And for a lot of us, it has changed because we're aware of the game that they've been playing, because they can't leave, they can't create, and they use us to do everything. And then they take from us. They steal our energy as a resource. We are resources to these beings, these as below stars. Once you know who you are, then you understand who they are and move accordingly. Because that's what it's about, you moving accordingly. Once you understand what you is, who you is, where you is, when you is, check it. I believe wholeheartedly in my bones and my DNA say, yes, I know it's true, that the ancestors was counting from 1 to 999, and then they used the letters. Now think about it. on the pictures that they show us from a couple hundred years ago, from 7, 6, 7, 8, it's a letter I, and some it's the letter J. What comes first? I and J. I and J. So if we was at J, 1999 was J, 999 was at the J. K. Even though we only got 26 letters, 52 weeks, so we supposed to have 52 letters. So they gave us half the alphabet. That's another reason we fucking confused. But K. So right now it's K 25. In my book, that's what I'm going by. From what the numbers say. But I think they put us 8 years ahead. Because that would, and it makes sense. Because that means 2012 was 2020. And what happened in 2020? Don't that sound about right? Because everything that occurred in 2020 was what we expected to occur in 2012. You did? You following me? Yeah. So that's why things are happening. And then think it's going to happen. Get you off guard. So you think things going to happen here and ain't happening here. Because you ain't where you thought you were supposed to be. Because they lied to thee. Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. Ugh. So we come forward Monday, because Monday wins. DS of Monday. So next, strong. DS of Moon. DS of Mercury. And DS is Venus. These the 3 days what I like to post my content. Just talking shit, speaking from the heart, reading from the book. And now I'm going to do, because I supposed to, I found the other part, so I probably am going to be able to stream the Wiz, because that's what I want to do, stream the Wiz from Twitch. We're going to stream the Wiz on Twitch. And then record it, and then post it. But some of y'all might never saw Wiz, I might want to look at it. But they ain't showing that on TV. But I got the DVD. So we're going to do that. And then we pulled out our other laptop. They got a DVD pad, and we're going to see what's here. Ooh! Oh my God, I love talking, yeah. So I'm finna jump back into what I was doing before I broke my fast. And see how far I can get with this before it's time to lay it down for the night. And then I'm gonna start back on it when I get home tomorrow evening. Cause I can do this. This is what I love to do. Engage in conversation. Inspiring others with my insights to encourage you to go within yourself and see what your insightfulness is. But yeah, we try to have everything in place by almost the end of next month for my anniversary. So this is my anniversary gift to myself. Self-sufficiency. Being reliant only on myself and not having to worry about a gig. Getting my time back. I'm not trying to be a millionaire. I'm not trying to belong to the aliens. I'd rather just be in the thousands. 999,000 good enough for me. I ain't got to be in the millionaire. Because I look at the energy different, I know what it is and understand it. And it's just what you need to survive. What you just need to be comfortable. And that's not survive, because everybody's trying their best to survive. We don't supposed to be surviving, we're supposed to be living. We're experiencing. So I know what I need to be comfortable and able to support others, because it's about selfless service over here. So if you see this and it's meant, and you want to, yes, give me a minute, help pay it forward, hit me in the email, rabbitholeradio@gmail.com, or leave a comment. I always take notice. Until then, y'all have a good night. As always, be kind to one another. Be kind to yourself. And grow your soul. Let's get this energy up. Good night.